Good evening, golfers. Back once again with episode 5 of the Reddit series for swing evaluations and some analysis just to see if we can help you out. I don't know if that's a word, analysis is. I don't think so, but you know what I'm trying to say. Thank you for those that sent to me your 3 videos, 3 students that sent to me your 2 videos. Excuse me, I've been in the sun all day teaching, so I might say some things that I need to re-say. And you can see I got the traditional golfer's tan from being burnt today from the sun. But I wanted to make sure I got this video to you because I know the 3 students have been waiting for a couple of days. Thanks for the videos that we have been getting. We have enough for episodes 6 and 7. So the more the merrier. We'll keep this going as long as you guys want me to do this. And I also think it's good for educational purposes, even if it's not your video, just to watch, just to kind of see it from a different perspective on how I at least address swing changes if necessary. And as I always say in my disclaimers, don't take these to heart. This is just for educational purposes. If you do decide to do this, make sure that you're with a PGA coach who can really go through the process with you. On the first student here is Drew. Now Drew, I actually saw this video before. Him and I have actually exchanged a few emails. And his emails got me curious, so I just watched his videos, and I almost wanted to do a full episode just on his swing, just because it is such a unique motion. And I'm going to play this first part of his swing. Let's go to this swing here. Okay, so from here, it doesn't look anything out of the ordinary, right? And this is why we need 2 sides, because we get a completely different motion from the other side. Let's draw quick lines here just to help you out. So we're going to look at that spine angle line, and immediately I can just say that your setup is just a little bit kind of hunched under. It's a little bit too compact. I know we're trying to swing down, and there's a reason why I think you do this, and we'll really know as a team once we see the other side. But basically, just look at your spine angle line. Top of the swing, really good job holding that spine angle line. As you come down, you start to see a little bit of that shaft humping again. But again, once you see the front view, you'll know why there's a little shaft humping. And as you come down through, there's your new spine angle. Okay, so a lot of inward motion, a lot of standing up, a lot of flipping. But this doesn't really do the swing justice. So let's just go straight to the other side, because I think that's where we're going to see a lot of what we need to look for. Okay, so here we have Drew's front-on view, and this is, again, why I really need both sides. Because if I were working with just Drew's down-the-line camera angle, I would start to recommend some changes that could potentially be detrimental to his swing until I saw the front view. And that's going to change the way I make some suggestions. But Drew, you really need the assistance of just somebody to help you out there. If there's a coach in your neighborhood, if you don't know one, let me know where you're from exactly. I can help get you somebody. And it doesn't have to be somebody every week. It just could be once a month check-in, once every other couple of months, just to get some other eye to kind of really help you. This swing definitely needs some assistance because this is one you won't be able to do by yourself. And we'll see why. So from the front view, this position here is quite impressive. It is so good, yet so misplaced. And that's unfortunate because you do a lot of beautiful things here. And one of the things I'm really impressed about is not only your range of motion. I mean, it is incredible how much turn you can actually get. So I'm going to draw some lines here. I'm going to connect the joints. So I'm going to go from your ankles to your knee, back over to your hip. Sorry, my mouse is getting a little dull. And then we go straight back to your... So this is your left joints, okay? And we're going to connect your shoulder joint as well. So you can almost see this accordion looking going on where there's a lot of breakages, right? This comes from a lot of turn. Obviously, that's just connecting your other shoulder just to show you how much turn you get. So if that's 90 degrees, I mean, you're in the 135 range. So that's an incredible amount of turn. The amount of turn you have in your hips, I mean, you have so much X factor in this. I would love to see you on an actual monitor where we can actually monitor your degrees. I'm just doing this based on eye and what we have to use. So I'm going to guess your hips get about 55 degrees, maybe 60 degrees open to get that much. But still, you take your 135 degrees minus 65, you're definitely pushing between 60 to 7 degrees of potential X factor, which is extreme. So you have the ability to strike this golf ball pretty hard. The thing that gets in your way is this accordion looking setup where almost your joints are running in parallel lines of each other. That's a really rare position. But what you do incredibly well as well is this club shaft angle is almost matching your shoulder tilt line. So that is a rare position. Typically we, let our arms go back with momentum, but yours is staying right outside in your power source. So the possibility of you striking the ball incredibly hard exists. You are just robbing yourself of your own power by getting in this accordion shape that all you have to do is try to get straight. So instead of turning around a solidified pole, if you will, since your pole is broken, you have to reconnect that pole while you're trying to strike the golf ball. And you do a good job, because if you take a look as you go down into impact, here's that pole. So you've straightened up, right? So you're so busy straightening up as opposed to utilizing that beautiful turn, that beautiful the beautiful extension, plus also your hands in front of your chest. That is optimal. But you're so compacted and kind of misaligned that all you're trying to do is just get back to being straight, as opposed to using the straight to hit the golf ball, if that makes sense to you. So this one is a tough one because I can't go in there and start diagnosing stuff, because this is either a total rebuild or somebody that really has to pay attention to you and really come up with a game plan of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, because this swing kind of relies upon itself to make itself work. It's not a very automatic swing. It just the swing has to go through a lot of checks and balances to work, and that's a compliment to you, because clearly you're an athlete that can do this, and you're very strong and flexible, so you have the potential to be a really solid ball striker. But it's just so many things that I would have to even begin to suggest, and to try and convey it over a video without even showing you or putting you in these positions would not even be fair to you, because there's no way I can convey it without putting you in the positions, giving you correct drills to get you in those putt positions. So you really need to see somebody, quite honestly. You have a fairly weak grip, and it's hard to know, was the weak grip caused from this accordion swing, or was the accordion swing caused by the weak grip? So you just never know. But this is a very unique swing. I'm really happy you sent it to me. I wish I could work with you. I don't know where you're from. I'm going to take a guess. My usual guess is every video I'm going to say, throw it out there. It looks colder than the desert here. Those trees, obviously no leaves. Let's just throw out a place. Let's just say Michigan. I don't know. It's probably full of snow in Michigan, so I don't know. Let's say Colorado. Just going to throw that out there. Okay, so I hope that helps. I mean, I know it's probably not what you wanted to hear, but it's my honest truth. I can't go and start, suggesting things. What I would be looking for is just to straighten out that that relationship between these joints. Get them on a straighter line. Less tilt down here, which is your hip tilt. So you're just tilting your hips too much, and also tilting your shoulders too much. And your turn is beautiful. So you do a lot of great things. And as a result, when you tilt, your weight shifts on the outside of your heels there. So these are some small telltale signs that you can be aware of. But hope that helps. Let's go to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Riley. So Riley has a torn meniscus, which is pretty painful. So I hope that's all healed. And that could be affecting some things. But first of all, let me just give you kudos on those Crocs, because I love playing in Crocs. This is my second favorite shoes. I would play in Crocs in my club that I work at, but they probably kick me out, unfortunately. But to me, they just make you grounded. You have to really solidify your feet to playing Crocs. I used to play barefoot, which is also really good. But let's take a look. Okay. So definitely some weight shift issues as well. And your weight shift issues will cause a lot of your motions that I see right off the bat. You do turn. You have adequate turn here. You look pretty tight. I don't know if you can do some stretching as well. Not sure how this area is in your body. It looks pretty tight. Maybe you can open up your hips a little bit more to help you get that extra turn that you need. Good hands and arms relationship. So hands in front of the chest. It just looks like it's a little bit, rounded, as opposed to a nice wider turn with a straighter chest area. So I definitely suggest doing some stretches. But as you come through, so I want you to look at your Crocs. I'm glad you wore your Crocs because we can actually see this a lot easier. I want you to pay attention to this area here, your right foot. As you take that club back, watch where the right foot receives the weight. So see how the inside of the right foot lifts up? So your weight is actually shifting on the outside of your foot. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried jump forward from this position. So if this was me and you, I'd say, okay, let me take that club from your hand, get to that top position. Now I want you to push from this right foot, and I want you to jump off these mats down over here in the grass and see how hard it is. It would probably be really hard for you to do because as you push, you'll actually, you'd roll your ankle more. There'd be nothing to push off, and there's not enough friction there. So that's just a telltale sign to me that your weight's moving too much to the right, outside of the right heel, and there's nothing to push off on. As you can see, when you take that downswing, watch your right heel, which is this one right here with the sock. Your right heel actually starts to spin right there. See how it's spinning? So that means that you're trying to push, but because it's not grounded, your foot's not grounded, it's kind of stuck in the air, more of the weight's towards the toes. That's where all the weight's stuck. So when you push, it's just stuck back there, and as a result, it spins on you, and that affects maybe your shaft humping now. You're standing up because you're starting to spin, and your turn suffers a lot because you're too busy trying to stop falling over without, making it sound bad, but you can't turn. And as a result, you have to just kind of hold your arms out in front. You're not really releasing. There's more of a flip than a release, but you do a good job here as well. So your hands are connected to your chest too. So all in all, I think your upper body's doing a really good job of connecting to the chest as you turn whatever you can, but that weighting is just a little bit off. Another telltale sign is look at your left side. So ideally, if any part of your left foot needs to come up, it's going to be the toes because you're shifting from your toes here to the heels. So this toe region should come up. But let's take a look. Spins the outside, and then all of a sudden those heels spin too. So you can see the weight's going from toe to toe. That's a really hard motion to turn. There's no way to turn while your toes are receiving the weight. Momentum's keeping you from turning. It's actually crashing into the golf ball. So for you, I'd probably get with drills to feel what it's like to turn something heavy, like a big medicine ball, and just work back and forth. Now, obviously, work with the coach that can help you out. But let's take a look at your back, because the down the line view, so that might actually help. All right, Riley, here's your down the line view. It's really hard for me to guess where you're from with that big tent. I'd probably say like Cirque du Soleil. I'm going to take a guess. Michigan. I'm going to say this one's Michigan for sure because of the snow outside. Okay, so we're going to watch. We're not going to pay attention to too much because we already kind of saw enough from the front view, but I want you to watch your footwork. So let's see if we can see that weight bow out to the outside of your right heel. Yeah, totally. Okay, you see that? See how the weight's bowing out to the right? It's almost like your whole inside of the heel's coming up. From there, you can't push off of anything. You're stuck. All you can do is stay upright at that point. So you're trying to push. You can't open up anymore because the weight's going towards the toes. You can see the back of this foot is starting to come up. You get stuck. It's always on toes. So there's nothing driving. There's no force. You look at the action of this right leg. It's not extending up into your upper body. It's just basically pivoting without any strength. So you look like a pretty strong guy too, and pretty athletic. So you should be able to get a lot more power. And as a result of you not turning enough, what do you think is left to save you? Your arms and hands are saying, "Oh, hey guy, I'm not turning. I got to get going." So they try and turn for you and make up all that lack of turn. At impact, your shoulders are square, which is fine, but your hips are square. There's nothing going on in that lower body because you're so busy trying to stay upright, you can't turn. And then closed club face, you can't release it. You kind of flip it to get your hands back out in front of you. The exit point of your golf shaft is way down here, which shows flipping. And the golf ball, I think, you almost hit that target over there. So if that's where the golf ball's ending up and you're aiming for just outside of that target, I mean, that's, I don't know what that is, 20-yard dispersion left, close club face. So I think there's just a lot of manipulation. I know you said you're pretty new to this game, so first of all, welcome. But you want to start out correct. I mean, you definitely, again, want to invest in your game and go see somebody that you think can help you. It doesn't have to be every week. It could be group lessons. Just get your basics down, because your posture's okay, but it's definitely your weight distribution that seems to be an issue. So hopefully that helps. Let's go to the next one. All right, last up we have Patrick. Now Patrick is a scratch golfer. He just wants my feedback. I'm not sure if he wants anything else, so I'm just going to give my feedback. This is not in real time. This is just playing at my speed, so. Okay. Not sure. Looks like a fairly high lofted out club, maybe a 9-iron wedge. Okay, yeah, so you do a really good job. Okay, a lot of hand action right here. I'm wondering how much tilt you have at impact. So here it looks okay. You know, that's hands and arms are connected to each other. So you do a really good job of keeping your hands in line with your center of your core. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at that kind of a zipper. And I'm looking to see where the relationship is between the hands and the zipper. So they're behind the zipper here. They're lined up with the zipper here, and they stay lined up. So you do a really good job past impact of staying connected. It's just down towards impact. It looks like it's a little bit of like catching up there, and I'm wondering what's causing that. So right footwork, pretty good. You can see how he stacks his weight on the inside right here. There you go. So there's no bowing out. There's no heel coming up. There's no rolling. So look how steady that right foot is. You can see him absorbing the weight on the inside as his body gets down. Now he's just going to push up. And you do a really good job of pushing up right here. So I'd still maybe like to see that right heel try a little bit staying down, a little bit more, to kind of make it so it's not so necessary for too much tilt. So you can flatten out your shoulders. It just looks like a little bit too much tilt, especially with an iron. But I'll be able to tell from the other side. But really good leg action. You can see that whip. I mean, look at his left pant leg. And that's just a lot of power going through that. So really powerful motion here. Great swing. I think, you know, just honestly, that right leg needs to stay planted a little bit longer, which will keep you a little bit more level, so you don't have to, you know, tilt under to make up for you coming up a little bit with your left side. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at it from the other side. All right, Patrick. So what we're looking for this side is to see how much tilt you have. Setup looks pretty good. It's hard to tell with a black sweater. It looks pretty square. By the way, let me see where you're from. Man, these trees are just throwing me off. Just gonna throw one out there. North Carolina. I'm just gonna guess North Carolina every episode until somebody says, yeah, that's me. I guess that's what I need to do. Okay, let me know if I'm right about North Carolina. Okay, good backswing. I'd say your head moving forward. I'm not exactly sure if that's a weight issue moving forward. You do hold your spine angle pretty well. It's just probably your head moving down and forward. Okay, that's very Rory. Very Rory Mcilroy looking here. Really good. Okay, yeah, you can see. So, by keeping, this is what I was afraid of, is if you look at that right leg, so the right leg is down, it's good. Right here, it goes up. And now watch what your back has to do. So your back gets really arched, right? Because you're pushing up. Now I know that's what you want to try and do, but if you get that right heel to stay planted, it won't require you to get that arched back at impact. And as a result, when your upper body moves up like this, you have to tilt a lot more to make sure your hands keep going on the descending blow. So at impact, looks pretty decent, but after impact, look at that. I mean, that right there, that's almost 90 degrees of tilt. Just past impact, that's an incredible amount of tilt. So I hope you know what I'm trying to say. When the lower body gets pushed up, that right foot's coming up, which I know you're trying to drive the power through, which is great. But if you drive it up so much, the body's going up, so you have to tilt more to get back down. So I just see this excess of tilt. Now that would, you look fairly young, which is good now, but let me just warn you, as you age, that swing might not be able to maintain itself unless you stretch every day, you have a good workout regimen that promotes flexibility, you eat correctly, you drink a lot of water to stay hydrated. But as you age, you cannot outlast Father Time. I mean, I had a pretty tilty motion when I was a child. I was fine until probably late 20s, early 30s, and then I started to develop some issues. And then it really started hurting when I was just turned 40. Now I'm in my mid 40s. There's no way I can swing like I used to. I had to flatten my turn just to save my back. The lower back doesn't really turn as much. Upper back does all the turning. And this just looks very like a compromising position to be in. So you're probably working with somebody. See what they say about that right leg. That's just what I see. I just see this motion here moving up and away causes you to tilt your shoulder under so you can reach that golf ball, giving you a lot of tilt. But you've made it work, and it's a beautiful motion. So the problem is if you change that one swing, you might lead to some other issues or missed shots because you're so used to making that compensation move. So, every golf swing is about compensations from what happens from the groundwork. Really good swing here, Patrick. So thank you for sending. Thank you all for sending. I appreciate it. It's always fun for me to look at all these videos and see swings from around the world. And I hope you just take it for what it is. It's just interpretation of what I see. Stay tuned for more episodes. If you do like this, please just spread the word, help the growth of this channel, because I just want to educate. Thank you again, and fairways and greens.